Hello and welcome to On Leading with Greatness. I'm Jim Salvucci. This week's installment, The Re-Gifting Paradox, Why Great Leaders Want No Prizes. I guess I always knew I was never one of them rock and roll singers who was going to win any Nobel Prizes. Bob Dylan as Billy Parker, Hearts of Fire. Every year, the Nobel Committee awards its coveted Peace Prize to a worthy recipient who, in accordance with Alfred Nobel's instructions, shall have done the most or best work for fraternity between nations, for the abolition or reduction of standing armies, and for the holding and promotion of peace congresses. Pretty noble stuff, that Nobel Peace Prize. The announcement of the annual winner is a big event, covered by news organizations large and small around the globe. That said, few pay attention, and even among those who do, few remember that year's recipient for long. For instance, can you guess who was last year's winner? Wrong. It was Nihon Hidankyo, the Japanese nuclear disarmament organization. Of course, I only knew that because I looked it up. In fact, when the prize goes to an organization like that, it always seems a little less memorable, like we were cheated. I'm not saying that we necessarily remember Narges Mohammadi, the Iranian freedom activist who won in 2023. What I mean is that it's easier to grasp the meaning of the prize when it goes to an individual with a name, face, and story rather than to an otherwise anonymous organization. This distinction, though, points up a bit of a paradox when it comes to leadership. Leaders are individuals, but their individuality is almost irrelevant when it comes to their leadership success. The best leader is, after all, just another team member. For a true leader, what could be more wonderful than heading an effective and apparently collaborative organization that has earned a top award? Such collective success can be more satisfying than receiving any individual prize. Still, the rank-and-file citizens of the world tend to prefer the individual we can laud and valorize. It's why we direct so much hype toward individual sports superstars who play on mediocre teams, while we can only muster limited enthusiasm, except maybe when betting, for dominant teams whose workmanlike talent is evenly distributed. When was the last time you saw a team on a Wheaties box? Come to think of it, when was the last time you saw a Wheaties box? The point is that we laud individual glory, and individual glory will be the ruin of us all. It's certainly the ruin of good leadership. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the individuals who win the Nobel Peace Prize are bad leaders. Their winning the prize has little bearing on their leadership qualities or whether they're leaders at all. The award is for personal or collective achievement, not leadership. I'm also not saying that individual glory, when earned, is all bad. What I mean is that the pursuit of individual glory is anathema to good leadership and can lead to the downfall of institutions. The true leader instinctively focuses less on the self than on the team and its collective mission. For instance, a politician who openly covets and lobbies for prestigious plaudits, such as the Nobel Peace Prize, is a guaranteed bad leader. The true leader concerns himself with organizational success, not individual glory. The best leader I ever worked for, a university president, consistently eschewed personal aggrandizement to refocus attention on his team and institution. I regularly saw him politely thwart attempts to stroke his ego. His rejection of flattery was immediate and habitual. Here's an example. Because he was a lawyer and not a PhD, he didn't have the title doctor. Whenever anyone addressed him with that honorific, whether in private or public, he instinctively corrected them. He was, in short, genuinely modest and a hell of a leader. In contrast, I worked for another university president who lived for every perquisite and scrap of reverence that his office afforded him. His self-regard was almost comical. Besotted by privilege and flattery, he deduced that he was the only competent decider at his university. No sizable idea that did not emanate from his bony cranium would warrant consideration. Meanwhile, any plan, solid or idiotic, that popped into his fervid fantasy world became an instant priority. Thus, he dragged a promising institution into the murky depths of his own manifest mediocrity. Such is the deleterious effect of titular leaders who seek individual glory. That's just one sample. I could reel off many others, and I'm guessing you could too. Although an individual glory seeker may meet with success, the success is usually self-serving and often unsustainable. That's probably why you see so many celebrated founders and CEOs jumping from idea to idea and company to company. If success is measured solely or primarily via personal acquisition, that makes sense. But you can imagine where I stand on the issue. Success is best measured as an achievement that stems from value-centered collaboration. It serves the organizational mission and benefits the collective whole. It should certainly be enduring and ideally replicable and scalable as well. Instead, often the greatest and truest success arise without glorifying the individual at all. My observations about swizzling, the use of disruption to effect positive change, uncloak truth, and create, offer a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Recently, I had the honor to give a talk for TEDx Clarkstown on the contrast between swizzlers, those who use disruption to drive progress, and pot stirrers, those who disrupt to sow chaos and destruction. Pot stirrers are in it for themselves and for the attention, the fun, and whatever goodies they can acquire. In the meantime, swizzlers, like true leaders, are looking out for the public good, often at their own expense. In fact, swizzling can be a lonely venture. Because swizzlers are, like pot stirrers, disruptive, people often misinterpret their intentions and ostracize them, oppose them, and even seek to neutralize them. Swizzlers risk much and earn little glory. But while swizzlers act as individuals, they do so for the collective good. Therefore, their individual performance serves the whole, just like any good leader. When it comes to success in the individual, swizzlers and other true leaders know and adhere to some universal truths. That the purpose of a leader is to drive mutual success, that individual success is best measured by its contribution to organizational success, and finally, that individual leaders don't matter. Only the impact of their behavior does. Those leaders who embrace and best exemplify this truth about the inferiority of rampant individuality are most worthy of our respect and admiration. It takes guts and fortitude to lead in such a way in a world that vaunts personal gain above all. I'm tempted to say we should start giving a Nobel Prize for leadership, if that would be stupidly counterproductive. After all, what would every deserving recipient go ahead and do? They just turn around and re-gift it to their team, right? In fact, that's the only true prize the true leader seeks: developing a wonderful and successful team. What's the role of the individual leader on your team? How do you distribute honors so that all can share in them? Great leaders find strategies to pass attention and glory onto their team members, and I can help. Unlock the great leader within. Download my free resource, the Transform to Greatness Toolkit, at thegreatleadershiptoolkit.com. And why not check out my new book, Greater Than Great, available on Amazon. And watch my video from TEDx Clarkstown on YouTube. You can find it on the TED channel. I look forward to hearing from you.